Good Friday morning. I'm Matt Carothers, and welcome to another installment of everybody's favorite 30-minute horse racing program. There's not that many, but I still know it's your favorite. It's time for Blinkers Off, and we have a lot to get to. We're gonna talk about what a great meeting it's been at Oaklawn Park and the big purses that they already dish out on a daily basis. It's gonna get bigger. It's gonna get more money at Oaklawn Park. We'll talk about that. And we'll talk about what's in store for the reigning 2011 Horse of the Year, Havre de Grace. She's going to be running, it looks like, on March 17th. We're not exactly sure where at this point. We'll talk about that in the second half of the show, all about handicapping, a couple good races at Oaklawn Park, race at Aqueduct as well, and Sunland Park into the mix. And into the mix for, he's been on the show already a couple times this year, several times over the last few years. He's the voice of Oaklawn Park from Hot Springs, Arkansas. My good friend, and I say that, I'm not just the TV guy saying, oh, my good friend. You're literally, I consider you a good friend. You're Frank Mirahmadi. Frank, how are you?
We have socialized together, Matt, outside of work.
We have. We text,
without
we
our
talk on the
ties
phone
on,
every
the
once
way
in a
we both
while.
like it.
Yeah. So let's get to the real good news, I guess, here at the top. Because first of all, the meeting, I think going in, management probably couldn't have drawn up any better than what's transpired thus far, right? In terms of attendance, I think you had nearly 30,000 people at Oaklawn Park on President's Day this past Monday. In terms of weather,
Yes.
in terms of attendance, in terms of handle, it's been great, hasn't it?
It has been phenomenal, and this was the first time in decades, Matt, that we had not lost one day of training due to weather. I had heard all these reports about ice storms, cancellations.
Rain,
I'm a California boy. It's the last thing I really wanted to hear about when I've gotten here. I mean, it started getting cold one day. I've seen a couple of snowflakes. It was actually on a day when I was heading back to California.
But you couldn't make snow angels, could you?
No, I could not.
Okay.
I could not.
All right.
Absolutely not.
I know you had that.
It's been a dream.
Probably. And so tell me about this. I mean, this is significant. I mean, this isn't like, we're raising purses, 5,000. Purses raised 100,000 per week through the end of the meet. And what am I reading here? Maiden special races are going to go for 46,000.
All-time record here at Oaklawn. This has been a tremendous season. And for that increase to take place, especially in these times, it just goes to show we are having an overwhelming response here. As you mentioned, Matt, tremendous crowds. The people are showing up. The horses are showing up. And TVG has certainly helped us with a lot of extra coverage this year.
Yeah, it's been a good relationship.
It's a fantastic relationship. It's a win-win for both parties, and so it couldn't be going any more smoothly, and we're very excited. This is a record increase, and even claiming races, low-level claiming races going up 1,500, claiming 20 and higher going up 3,000, allowance and maiden special weight up 5,000 per race. The horses will continue to show up here. This is just a great destination. It's known. The numbers speak.
Yeah.
Where else were there 29,000 people on Monday? I don't know the answer to that question.
Yeah, I think the answer is nowhere. No one else had 29,000 people on President's Day. Not a racetrack in this country. Now we're going to transition to something. It's a little bit of a dicey topic right now because you're getting reports that are literally coming out. Every 5 minutes I'm hearing something new. I don't know what you can say on this matter, but it was announced a couple of days ago by Rick Porter, owner of Fox Hill Farms, owner of 2011 Horse of the Year Havre de Grace, that they're going to Havre de Grace, who won the Azeri, beating Blind Luck, right, last year, was going to make her 2012 debut in this same race, the Azeri, at Oaklawn March 17th. Now you're hearing reports. Jay Privman has an article in the Daily Racing Forum that has just come out saying that now they're thinking maybe they make that debut in 2012 at the fairgrounds in the New Orleans Ladies Handicap. I don't know what you've heard, what you can actually say right now, but there's definitely some posturing going on, to put it mildly.
Well, let me say this. As far as being a spokesman for Oaklawn, I can say zero. Because I'm the track announcer here. I'm not the spokesman for the track. But what I can say,
you're hearing these reports
fan,
also. I mean, they're out there. I mean, I have an article from Privman.
They just hit. But what I'm saying is, as far as what our reaction to that is, that'll be a decision that Eric Jackson will have to make any kind of decisions. But I will say this. As a racing fan, as a track announcer, I have been personally disappointed not to see Larry Jones' horses here during this meet. He's had a lot of success over here. And what I would try to do is roll out a red carpet and a welcome mat to see Mr. Porter and Larry Jones here as frequently as possible, not only with the reigning horse of the year, but with their entire stable. So, I mean, we would love to have them.
Yeah,
what I've learned
go
from
ahead.
being here at Oaklawn, Matt, as far as a philosophy standpoint, if I was just to guess, I would say this. What we try to do at Oaklawn is we try to put on the best possible show. We welcome the best horses, and over the years, they have shown up time and time again. And so, of course, we hope to see the horse of the year here for the Azeri to defend her title in that particular race. And as a track announcer, obviously, you know what I think. I'd love to see her here. And I think she'd face a pretty nice mare in Absent Minded, who she handled very comfortably last year, but Absent Minded has really stepped up her game. I'd love to see those two square off.
And the only thing I'm going to say, I mean, this is an opinion show. That's why we started this show. I don't know how long we've been doing this, 8 or 9 years. So I'm going to give a little bit of an opinion on the situation. I have no problem with an owner, a trainer. You know, you have a star that everyone wants to see. Try to get the most money you can. I have no issue with that. If they're concerned about the weight and the handicap race at the fairgrounds, and they think they might have to carry 122, and the fairgrounds can say, hey, well, you know, we'll only make her carry 117 pounds. I have zero problem with any of it. I have a little bit of a problem with going public with all of it and making an announcement saying, hey, we're going to do this. It's official. We finally decided what where the 2011 Horse of the Year is going to debut. And then all of a sudden, 48 hours later, say, maybe not. If you want to posture and you want to be somewhat political and you want to get the best deal for yourself, do it privately. I don't understand coming out publicly and doing it because, the connections could work with the fairgrounds, work with Oaklawn Park in a private manner without the media knowing, and just make a decision and come out, and this is the decision. This is the amount of money we're running for at fairgrounds or Oaklawn. This is the weight we're going to carry. I don't understand doing it in this public forum. That's the only issue that I have.
Okay, well, to say that this particular camp is very sensitive about weight issues would be a monumental understatement. They are very, very sensitive to the weight assignments. That I can tell you as an opinionated race fan very clearly. And any person who's been around Larry Jones and Mr. Porter and the Horse of the Year, Havre de Grace, knows that this is a very delicate topic. Every pound counts. And the late Bobby Frankel would be very, very proud of their philosophies on 1 extra pound.
Okay. I just got some news from producer Danielle that Rick Porter, actually, Fox Hill Farms, is going to join us on the program here in just a moment.
That is what I like to hear.
So I'm going to get my questions ready here, Frank. We're going to take a quick commercial timeout, and when we come back, maybe we'll have an answer from Rick Porter. I'm guessing a decision has been made in terms of Havre de Grace, March 17th in Louisiana, March 17th in Arkansas. We'll know in a few moments. Live TV grade. Welcome back to Blinkers Off, second half of the program, and I think the gentleman is on the line right now, owner of Fox Hill Farms, owner of Havre de Grace. Rick Porter joins us on Blinkers Off right now. Mr. Porter, how are you?
Very good, man. How you doing?
kind of a whirlwind for you this week.
Yeah,
take me back a couple of days ago. I mean, Wednesday. Tell me about the announcement that you made just 2 days ago, saying that Havre de Grace was going to debut in 2012 at Oaklawn Park. And has anything changed since Wednesday?
Well, Larry and I had, as I said on the website, we had mapped things out, and we thought everything pointed to having Havre de Grace run at Oaklawn. It looked like the best spot for her. And then I got a phone call yesterday after everybody had written about Havre de Grace, having her first race at Oaklawn, and they told me that, they really wanted her to be there. They were counting on her being there, and they were willing to raise the purse and match the purse at Oaklawn. And the fact that it was her first race and one was ungraded, the fairgrounds.
Or the New Orleans Ladies Handicap, $100,000 not graded.
Ungraded, but now they offered to make it 150 if Havre de Grace came, and of course it would still be ungraded, versus a grade 3. Didn't make much difference.
And that's where she is now? She's at the fairgrounds, right?
she's at the fairgrounds, and Larry thought not shipping her for her first race would be a big advantage. She liked the track. She also has shown that in the past, she's liked Oak Lawn. And, I thought they stepped up to the plate and put the extra money up. And
so you've made a decision. She's going to the New Orleans Ladies Handicap now.
She's going to the New Orleans Ladies Handicap.
Okay, this is official now.
It's official. I offered Oak Lawn. I talked to Eric Jackson, and I offered him a chance to entice me a little bit more with some money. And, I got to look out for Havre de Grace. She likes to eat, and I'm trying to get her as much income as possible. And he wasn't in a position at this time. He said down, maybe a week or two, he could, if things were going good, he could bump it up. But
I mean, I know it's a business first and foremost, but does any part of you kind of feel, hey, I feel kind of bad that I made an announcement 48 hours ago that she's going to, begin her 2012 campaign at one racetrack and then 2 days later change your mind and go somewhere else? Does any part of you feel bad about that or no?
I do feel bad that I made that announcement, and I wish that the fairgrounds had come to me earlier. I don't think they realized that Larry was considering that race, but the fact that we're able to stay home and not ship her makes up for feeling bad that I did make an announcement and that I had to change my mind. But sometimes for the right reasons you have to change your mind, and I think it was for the right reason. And
so you have Joyful Victory. We'll see her now, I'm guessing, in the Azeri at Oak Lawn Park. She won the Fantasy there last year by 10 lengths.
Right.
Okay. And what about the Apple Blossom potentially for Havre de Grace, April 13th?
Well, nothing would make me happier to run in the Apple Blossom. It's the only Grade 1 at this time of the year, and if Larry and I deem the weights to be fair, we will be there. If we don't think they're fair, we won't be there.
And the goal in 2012 is the Breeders' Cup Classic, I'm guessing. You're going to face males. Do you have it mapped out in terms of what time of year you're going to face the other gender for the first time?
We've looked at a few races, but we haven't made a decision. But I'm sure that if she's, in good form and running well, that we will face the boys, because I think we're going, we possibly are going to have weight issues on a regular basis.
Right.
So we may very well just, run more races against the boys than.
Okay. Mr. Porter, if you have another second, Frank Mirahmadi, the voice of Oak Lawn Park, is joining me on Blinkers Off, and he has a question for you. Frank?
Sure.
Mr. Porter, my question to you, first of all, we're obviously very disappointed to hear your decision, but we respect it. We respect you and, of course, the great mayor. But here's the question I have for you. When you talk about fair weights, in your estimation, do you not feel that as a horse who is now the reigning horse of the year, that weight, you have to get a certain assignment just in order to be fair in that particular category of races? That's why they assign weights based on performance. And your mare has done just a phenomenal job. So what are your thoughts as to what a fair weight is? Not that you can put in a special order for weight, and we know it's a very sensitive subject, but do you feel that your horse should give weight to others in a race such as the Apple Blossom?
Depending on, obviously, we're going to give weight to some horses, and probably we should be the high weight, as long as based on last year. Now we're going to have a race in the meantime that could, influence what those weights are going to be. But we're willing. We think that we should be high weight.
Okay.
But there comes a point.
If you were the racing secretary, what would you assign Havre de Grace?
Well, I think it depends on what other horses are coming. And for example,
I'm just curious.
I think
I know it's a tough question, but I'm just always interested because certainly, as a gentleman who owns this fantastic, very talented individual, it would be interesting to see what you would do if you had to step back for a moment and assign her weight. I would just be curious what you would think would be an appropriate number that you think she could carry at a Grade 1 level and win.
Well, let me say that I certainly don't think that 130 would be fair.
Okay.
So.
All right.
I think depending on I think it all depends on the competition. I mean, there are some good fillies out there. If Awesome Feather and Plum Pretty and Zazu and Royal Delta were to be in the race, that you'd have to consider the weights differently. I don't know whether the racing secretary starts with the high weight and gives it a number and then adjusts everybody else. I don't know how that works. All I know is that the difference in weights as to how many we would spot a horse. But we expect to spot weight, but we don't expect to spot ridiculous weight.
Yeah. Mr. Porter, I appreciate you being a stand-up guy and coming on the program and breaking this news on Blinkers Off that 2011 Horse of the Year Havre de Grace will be making her 2012 initial start at the fairgrounds in the New Orleans Ladies Handicap. And we wish you the best of luck with her in 2012. And I know she has many fans, and they're anxious to see her back on the racetrack. So good luck.
Well, thank you very much, and I apologize to Oak Lawn for making a premature announcement.
Fair enough, fair enough. Rick Porter, owner of Havre de Grace, owner of Fox Hill Farms, joining us on Blinkers Off. Frank Mirahmadi at Oak Lawn Park right now. So
I'd have to say this, man. Look, he owns her, and he can do what he wants with her. I don't think any apologies are owed whatsoever.
No,
I just want to say that I believe, without having spoken to Mr. Jackson, that Mr. Jackson would, as he has every year, roll out the red carpet to see all of the horses from the Fox Hill Farm. We have been very blessed and pleased to see them running at our track, and we certainly hope that we will be able to see them again in the future, and not just Havre de Grace, but some of the other ones. They have some beautiful horses in that outfit, and Larry Jones has had a lot of success. That cowboy hat has made his way into our winner's circle on many occasions, and I certainly hope he does so many times again.
Selections, myself and Kelly Breen from last week, and you see them scrolling across your screen graphically. Nice 7th place finish for me at 2-1. Fortitude got caught late on the wire. I'm only minus $1.80. Yeah, and maybe, and hopefully we will, the Azaria would have been great, but the Apple Blossom would be very nice if she can show up there. And she does love it at Oak Lawn. She's had success there. She gets her race at the fairgrounds. Hopefully we'll see her at Oak Lawn 4 weeks removed from that start in the New Orleans Ladies Handicap.
This is a big show, Matt. You're breaking national news right here on Blinkers Off.
This little show has some legs now. Yeah, hey now.
It's a big move out of you.
Again, I'm a little partial, obviously, with our relationship with Oak Lawn Park, so it's too bad it was not the greatest of news, but breaking news nonetheless.
It's news.
Play of the day for me for Saturday before, are we going to break in, Danielle, or are we going to do our handicapping here? Yeah, we got 6 minutes in show right now with Mr. Porter coming on. Most Happy Fellow will be my Blinkers Off play of the day for Saturday. The 3-horse in race number 6 at Aqueduct. Tactical speed, cuts back from 1 1/8 to 1.70 arguably the best betting race on the Saturday card in New York. And Most Happy Fellow with Irad Ortiz Jr. at 8-1 morning line will be my Blinkers Off play of the day. Now, Frankie, time for us to do some handicapping. Your neck of the woods, the Down the Dusty Road Breeders. Producer Danielle telling me some speed handicapping from you guys. You have a lot of races to cover, not much time. Let's start with the 2, Robin My Girl. She's looking to win her 4th in a row. She's 10-1 morning line. You give her a shot or she's not good enough?
No shot whatsoever, but I do give a good shot to Beautiful Rainbows. Beautiful Rainbows is still going strong at age 9. I'll give her an upset look at 6-1. I think she has a chance.
Is that your selection?
You told me to be opinionated and not to be Mr. Nice Guy. I tried to ask Mr. Porter a pointed question there. I hope you appreciated that.
No, I liked it. You were very Mike Wallace-like in your interview.
I don't know about that.
Yeah, very much so. I like the chalk. All about Allie in this race. This is her distance. I think she loves to win. She's coming out of the American Beauty. Gleaming your winner of that race, came back to win the Spring Fever for Brett Calhoun on the 19th of February. I think she's a major class edge. She'll get the trip. She's chalky, though. Big race for our researcher, Joaquin, my guy. The No Double Breeder is one of his all-time favorite horses. It's very strange, Frank. You love Golden Pheasant. He loves Comodero. And he kind of fell in love with this horse a couple of years ago. And this horse won by 10 3/4 lengths at 1-9 in this race last year. He's going to be 1-9 again this year, and he might win by 10 lengths again.
But let me just say this. He is coming off a hawk infection, which is not a very pleasant thing. It not only almost cost him his career, there was a time when they thought it might cost him his life. So this is a huge comeback story, and he's been training well. I spoke to Fairgrounds clocker Mike DiLiberto. He said that based on his last work, that Comodero has nothing to worry about. I spoke to Michael Stidham, and Michael is very anxious to see what he's going to be able to do on the track. He couldn't have handpicked a better field for his comeback. He does have the rail. He has a lot of speed, but he is coming off of a very significant issue, and that was an infection.
I know this is an Arkansas-bred race, and there's a reason why he's going to be 1-9. This is a good racehorse. He's a good 6 furlong horse. He's 8 for 10th this distance. I think this horse might be able to make some noise in some graded stakes races sprinting later on in the year.
Be a great comeback story.
The Busher. The weather's supposed to be beautiful as usual at Oaklawn Park on Saturday. Rain in New York on Friday. I think tomorrow, Saturday, is supposed to be a nice day. Mile and a 16th in the Busher, $75,000 for 3-year-old fillies. This is one of those races, Frank, that I thought everyone had a chance. Do you agree?
Yeah, I don't know about everyone, but I'm going right to the favorite here, Sweet 17. I think with the whole talk of Mr. Porter and Larry Jones, a nice hard spun filly would be a good selection here for Blinkers Off. And hard spun is having I'll tell you right now.
No ill will, no bitter feelings from Frank Mirahmadi.
People buying horses are looking at the hard spuns. He is turning into quite a stallion, and I think he's going to get another victory right here.
Yeah, I'm changing my tune on Mr. Porter a little bit. Not only did he come on the program, but I think I think it was genuine. He feels a little bit bad about how it was handled.
He's a gentleman.
So you know what I said about 12 minutes ago, I'd retract some of that right now. I was a little harsh on him before he came on, but
that might have induced the phone call onto the show, though. So you did the right thing.
Yeah. I think he literally felt bad. We all make mistakes. It wasn't handled that great, but he came on and owned up to it. I like Better Lucky. I loved her debut in a maiden special event. I know it was a sloppy racetrack. I bet her in the Ruthless. Agave Kiss has grade 1 ability, who won that race. Go Sapper runner that gets more ground. I like Better Lucky at a little price, 4-1 with Eddie Castro for Tom Albatrani for Darley Stable. Derby preps this weekend. We have a few of them. We got a showdown in the Fountain of Youth. That is going to be fun. Turf Paradise Derby, Risen Star at the Fairgrounds, and the Borderland Derby we'll discuss right now. $150,000, mile and 16th, field of 7. I've told this story before, but it's so heartfelt that I'm going to tell it again. The ultimate personal Swami angle for me will be my selection, the one, Zach and Matt. My name is Matt. My name was almost Zach. My parents went back and forth. Wow. Zachary Matthew, Matthew Zachary. And at the last minute, they said Matthew Lawson Carothers should be your name, but I was close to being Zachary. Wow. So I have to go with Zach and Matt. I think he's a pretty good racehorse, too, for Marty Jones.
Yeah, he's a horse that'll be very happy that Bob Baffert isn't represented here. If you look at his running lines,
right,
this horse is like all he's seeing is those glasses and white hair.
Macho Rocket, that was a Baffert first-time starter that beat him.
It's just been Baffert everywhere for this horse. I'm going to a maiden on the bottom here, and that is Major Hope. I think it's a 2-horse race. I think the morning line favorite, Isn't He Clever, is a terrible bet in this race. I would throw him right out. I think it's either Zach and Matt, who is a very nice horse himself, but I'll go to Major Hope. The problem with him, Major Hope, is there's speed on the bottom side, much like your selection at Aqueduct. Sahara Gold was a pure sprinting family, but hopefully with that lemon drop kid on the top, he will break his maiden in a nice way here at Sunland.
Yeah, Henry Dominguez.
Steve Asmussen 6-1. That's a good price.
Henry Dominguez has 2. Isn't He Clever? Your morning line favorite at 2-1, and the 4 so far so fast. Do you have a play of the day for us,
I
Frank,
do. Right here at Oaklawn on
Perfect.
Saturday. Saturday's 5th race, number 4, Half Pleasant, was claimed for $25,000 by Carl Broberg. Carl's having a very nice meet here. He's effective off the claim, takes a major step up in class. Come right back with Half Pleasant in the 5th on Saturday.
All right, the fact that Havre de Grace not going in the Azeri, Frankie, as we conclude the show this week, just a minor bump in the road for you guys. Handle up, attendance up, purses going through the roof. Just a minor bump in the road.
I got to wipe a tear out of my eye. I wanted to call her.
All right, Frankie, thank you so much for joining us. Have a great weekend. You've been watching Blinkers Off. We'll do it next time. Next time's March 2nd.